Today we're going to talk about Giants Live Cardiff 2022 on the 6th of August. It's going to be an awesome show because we're also going to have the deadlift championships there. But firstly, I want to say congratulations to Tom Stoltman on winning World's Strongest Man 2022. He did everything that he needed to do in the finals to win it. He was consistent. He put in some excellent performances. He knew exactly what he needed to do and what he needed to deliver to beat these other fantastic strongmen. I mean, Martins Licis, brilliant performance from him, considering only a few years ago he thought he'd have to retire from strongman from a very serious injury. And then we have Alexei Novikov, who is one World's Strongest Man before. He's been very dominant in recent years. However, he's had a lot going on in his life, a lot of things, a lot of weight on his shoulder. I think that third was a brilliant finish for him. He was tied on points with Licis, as I predicted in one of my videos before World's Strongest Man. We will definitely see people tied on points, and it will be based on a countback, and that's exactly what happened. I personally thought Martins Licis would win, but maybe that was just asking a bit too much for his first World's Strongest Man after a few years away from it. But nonetheless, Tom was a deserving champion, and I'm really happy for him. So let's move on to Giants Live Cardiff 2022. So the first, we're going to talk about some of the athletes I want to talk about in this video, the ones I know will be competing. Start off with Adam Bish. He's had some great performances at Giants Live in the past. His best would be finishing second at the World Open in 2022. Probably his career highlights would have to be winning Britain's Strongest Man in 2020 and finishing 6th at World's Strongest Man in 2020. I thought that he put on a fantastic performance that year at World's Strongest Man, and I think that was a deserving 6th place. In fact, I thought he was going to do better. And then finishing second at the Europes in 2020. Now, he will also be chasing that 505 kilogram deadlift world record. He can he back up his ball? He said straight out that it's his. He will be doing it. There's no debate about it. But can he back up that bullshit? Can he back up his ball? Because I've never seen him deadlift 500 kilograms at a competition off the floor with a deadlift bar. So with his deadlift with a standard bar is 453.5 kilograms. A Hamatai deadlift 524 kilograms. So he's a very good deadlifter, and he's put more size on recent years. That extra weight has definitely helped him lift bigger weights. He has a brilliant technique when it comes to the deadlift. Very, very professional, kind of very similar to that of a powerlifter who pulls conventional, which is a rarity. So I think that Adam Bishop could finish on the podium this year. And as we can see here, his deadlifting technique is set up. Everything is really good, especially considering the weight in there. Just the way he got that easy lockout straight up. No need to grind the weight up. Brilliant. So he said categorically in a podcast, a Giants Live podcast, I know I'm going to pull 505 kilograms. So he is very confident. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Next up is Pavlo Nakonienski, Ukrainian strongman, ex-powerlifter, championship-winning powerlifter. I haven't seen a lot from him in strongman. He's a bit inconsistent. He kind of shows up and then disappears and shows up and disappears. You read on Reddit forums, where is he? What's he doing? Finished 4th at Giants Live World Open 2021. He entered the deadlift championship, pulled 475 kilograms, which is very impressive. Attempted the 505, didn't quite work out. And we could see from some of his performances at the events, he did quite well. So he is a potential candidate definitely for a top 5 finish this year at Cardiff. So I look forward to seeing what he can deliver.
Bill Kausmeyer, and now's the time to rip that ball off the floor and make history. Trying to regrip their neck on it.
With the 505, it didn't. I don't even think it left the floor. Alexei Novikov. Well, what can you say? I mean, you don't really need to talk about what he's achieved. Everyone knows it. He has performed well at Giants Live in the past. He won the Strongman Classic. He's finished 3rd 2 times at Giants Live. So it's definitely can deliver when it comes to Giants Live. Probably his best performance ever would be winning World's Strongest Man in 2020. Would be finishing 3rd this year at the Europes. He won it this year. in 2022. He finished second at the Arnold Strongman Classic. That's a mistype there. That should be second. And he won the World's Ultimate Strongman Dubai in 2021. So Alexi is someone who could potentially win this year's Giants Live Cardiff. I'm not sure who this guy is. Literally, I feel really bad because that looks really, really bad. I've only got 2 things for him. Asku. Now, I remember his phase. He was meant to do the last deadlift championship, but he pulled out pretty last minute due to a back injury. But he's back and he will be competing at the deadlift championship. He's done a gym personal best deadlift of 482 kilograms. He's pulled raw at 402. So that's without the suit, without the straps. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do. And I'm not going to say any more than that because I don't know anything else about him. Now, T-Rex, I know a lot about this guy, Evan Singleton. It's called T-Rex because that's his nickname because he loves dinosaurs, and he's also got tattoos on his hand of a T-Rex hand, which I don't know why, because T-Rex had tiny little arms. But anyway, this guy is your Giants Live guy. Yeah, he should be called Mr. Giants Live because look at the results he's delivered when it comes to Giants Live. The Arnold UK won it. Giants Live World Open won it. Giants Live North America Open won it. Second at the Strongman Classic. Third at Giants Live World Tour 2021. Fifth at 2019 Giants Live World Tour Finals. Eighth at 2018 Giants Live North American Open. For someone who's come from wrestling and hasn't been a strongman really for that long, he's achieved a lot. Now when it comes to Giants Live, he has a lot of success. When it comes to World's Strongest Man, that guy is super unlucky. Someone has put a curse on him when it comes to World's Strongest Man. Really unlucky in recent years, but he's definitely a great performer when it comes to Giants Live. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can deliver this year at Cardiff. So Mitchell Hooper, there's nothing I need to write. We all saw him or read about him or watched some clips of him at World's Strongest Man 2022. Absolutely blitzed his group. Made it to the finals without having to do the stone off, which was brilliant, and finished 8th. He put in a great performance considering he is such a rookie. He hasn't even barely trained any of the events, which is something that held him back massively from doing better in the finals because he literally hadn't trained barely any of the events, or any of them pretty much. He'd never done a truck pull. He hadn't done a lot of Atlas stone training. He'd never done the behind the neck press because he didn't have the gym equipment for that, the setup for that. So the fact that he got 8th was amazing. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do when it comes to this year's Giants Live Cardiff with a bit more experience under his belt and some more time training strongman. He's even said that he would like to do 510. That's very ambitious. And here's his explanation. Here's his logic behind wanting to jump to 510 kilograms. Let's have a listen on a Giants Live podcast, recent Giants Live podcast.
You could pull. Look, I went from 435 to 475 in 4 months, and I've had 12 months to work up to. I'll have 12 months to work up to Giants Live in August. So 505 is the number that's out there. I don't know what kind of jumps that we're going to be going with, but if someone pulls 505, I don't see why I can't be capable of 510.
I think we'll probably do similar jumps to last year, which I believe was, we stopped at £1,000 because loads of guys wanted to do £1,000,
yeah.
And I think 7 of them did it.
Yeah.
And then we went 475, and then to the 505.
But if someone did 505, would you let me do 510?
Yeah, 100%.
So the goal is to leave there with the record being my own.
Yeah.
So whatever I have to do.
Okay, so that was pretty interesting, right? His logic behind why he thinks he can do 510. Now, personally, if he was to ask me, or you were to ask me about this, I would say don't do it. At the end of the day, as he said in a recent video on his YouTube, this next year, before the next World's Strongest Man, it's all about experience, learning. There's a massive learning curve for him. He needs to train for the events. He needs to improve his technique and not just dominate based on just raw strength. He needs technique as well. So all these competitions, the Giants Live, maybe he'll do a WUS event, maybe he'll do other Europes. I don't know. North America events. So all of these events he needs to use as a learning curve, as a learning experience. A chance to improve his technique, his form, learn from other athletes, so that when he next steps on the world stage at the top of the top, he knows what he's doing. And I think him chasing the 510 would be him using a lot of energy, a lot of effort on just one event. I think it would be better to try and do as best as he can on the deadlift and that event, but focus on the whole show rather than just one event. So don't use all your energy just on the first event, the deadlift, and then not have that energy, the effort for the other events, because he really needs to start training all events. He can't just focus on one and miss that great opportunity to learn from other athletes, training against, watching other athletes, going up against other athletes, using equipment, doing it in an environment where spectators are watching you when the pressure's on. So I think it would be silly of him to chase that. He's young, he's got a humongous career ahead of him, a long career ahead of him. He doesn't need to rush it. I'm sure one day he will get that deadlift world record, but I don't think he needs to rush it. There's no urgency on that at all. So that's my thoughts on that. So next up is the Iranian strongman powerlifter. He's been at World's Strongest Man twice. Probably his best was in 2017, finishing third in his group, and then fifth in 2018, and we haven't seen him since. On a standard bar deadlift, 481, which is in theory technically the third strongest deadlift in strongman, just behind Hathor, Julius Bjornsson and Eddie Hall. So he is an incredibly good deadlifter, someone to watch out for on the deadlift championship. And in the gym he's pulled 492 kilograms. So we'll have to wait and see. He's definitely someone who has the potential to take the 505 kilogram world record for sure. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can deliver. And here's some footage of him deadlifting. I don't know how that counted at a powerlifting event because the bar dropped, so that should have been a red, but it wasn't. He got it. But nonetheless, definitely a very good deadlifter. Next up is Ivan Makarov. I hope he will compete. I hope politics doesn't come into play and he gets pulled off the lineup, because he's definitely someone who could pull 505. He's probably the only person close enough to say that he has pretty much pulled 40% of 505, because at the last deadlift championship when he did it, 505, he got it to roughly just below the knee. So he was close, very close. So I'm looking forward to seeing him do the deadlift championship, and I hope he does show up. Now at Giants Live World Open, the deadlift, he did 475 kilograms, and in the gym he's pulled 490. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do at Cardiff. Let's wait and see. Obviously, can't speak too soon, but he's definitely a contender for the 505. And this was him pulling 475 in 2021. Very smooth, good technique, good setup. Actually, not so much really, but even with that bad form, he still managed to pull that perfectly without the bar dropping or having to grind the weight up. It was pretty clean. Good deadlift, so I really do hope he actually does compete this year at Cardiff, the deadlift championship. I think he deserves it. He's a really nice guy as well. He's a really nice guy, so I hope we see him there. Cool. Wish I could deadlift 475 like that easily. My back hurts just watching it. Okay, next up, another good deadlifter, Rainu Heinler. Been around as strongman for a very long time. He won the 2018 Arnold Australia, 4th at Europe's Strongest Man 2021, 8th 2021 Giants Live World Open, 5th at the Worcester Bay in 2019 out of 14 athletes. But this guy's strength really lies in the deadlift. He is an excellent deadlifter. This guy was born to deadlift. His competition deadlift PB is 455, which is brilliant. An 18-inch deadlift 505. The axle deadlift world record he holds, which was 360 kilograms for 9 reps. Ouch, my back hurts thinking about that. Standard bar deadlift 400 for 6 reps. That's amazing. And then the gym deadlift PR on a standard bar was 475 kilograms. So this is someone also who could potentially take that 505 kilogram deadlift world record. You might see a few people having to share this record, in all fairness, which will be interesting. That will be very interesting. And this was him doing the deadlift world record for 9 reps. Straight on it, very quick. He's definitely built for the deadlift. This guy was born to deadlift. Look at that. 16 seconds, he's already done 4 reps. 20 seconds, already done 5 on his 6th. I'd love to do this deadlift one day. Just be able to do the axle deadlift like this. This would be awesome. And I always like it when it's set up like this. When you do it, when any sort of reps, whether it's the log or the deadlift, I always love it when they're side by side. You've got the athletes side by side, because you just get a better showing. And it spurs the athlete to do more. When they look over and they see that he's doing another rep, they're like, shit, I need to do another rep. And then sometimes you get this as well, when they come over and give you some more confidence, motivate you to get that extra rep, which is always great. So next up, GAVIN BILTON. He's worked a lot in the past year on his endurance, and it's definitely paid off, because he did really well this year at World's Strongest Man compared to previous years. He's definitely been working on his weakness, which was endurance and stamina, and it paid off. Giants Live World Open 10th, Giants Live 2021 World Open 6th, and the Strongman Classic 8th. He won UK's Strongest Man in 2020, finished 8th at Europe's in 2021, and he's qualified 3 times for World's Strongest Man. So he's definitely got potential for a top 5 finish this year at Cardiff. It's his home turf. He'd love to do well on it, obviously, at the Giants Live Cardiff. He'd obviously like to finish on the podium. That would be very good for him. But I don't really see that happening. A top 5 is definitely possible, for sure. But anyway, I like big GAVIN BILTON. He's got a great personality. He's a really awesome guy, so I'm happy to see him competing at Cardiff, and I look forward to seeing it live. Gabriel Pena, a brilliant deadlifter. Still needs to prove himself at competition, but when it comes to the deadlift, this guy's really good. So at Giants Live World Tour Finals in 2021, he finished 8th out of 10 athletes. The Shore Classic, 14th out of 16 athletes. Giants Live World Open 2021, 5th, which was pretty good out of 10 athletes. Qualified 2 times for World's Strongest Man. His deadlift PR is 453.5, and he has the 18-inch deadlift world record of 500 kilograms. That's what I read online. So this guy definitely has a talent when it comes to deadlift. Another contender for the deadlift world record at the championships. Guy could potentially pull 505. Don't write him off. Here's the Shore Classic Hummer deadlift tire. Hummer tire deadlift. Hummer deadlift tire. 500 kilograms, 1,100 pounds. My God, did he have to work for this one? Look at the legs shaking there. Oh, that's a bit harsh refereeing. He really made him wait for that lockout. So definitely someone who could do well on the deadlift event. I'm not sure how he's going to perform on the other events, but definitely, actually I do know he's going to do really well on the hammer hold. We'll talk about that later. So here's the guys I think who are in for a shot with the 505 kilogram deadlift world record. I call them the 505ers. Got the Bish, we've got Rainer Heinler, Gabriel Pena, Ivan Makarov, Pavlo Gnakonienski and Pyman. All these guys definitely have the potential. I don't know who's going to. I think some people are going to have to, it might be a few, might have to share the record. We might actually see people have to do 510 to take the record. 505 might be too light. You might have 3 or 4 athletes getting that, and someone wants to get one ahead and do 510. So it's going to be really, really interesting to watch the World Deadlift Championships. This is going to be awesome. This is why I'm buying the ticket for this, the Deadlift Championships. That's why I'm buying tickets to go see it. Really excited for this. It's probably going to be the best one since the Eddie Hall 500 deadlift. Okay, but there's some other events. Event 2. The farmers walk into the loading medley. This looks awesome. I can't wait to find out how much everything weighs, the distance, what they're going to be doing. But just from predictions, I think Evan Singleton, this has got Evan Singleton written all over it. The guy is brilliant at loading, at farmers walk, at yokes. He's very fast, very explosive, very dynamic. Mitchell Hooper, definitely second. With a bit more experience, a bit more practice on loading him and farmers walk and yokes, he can definitely do well in this. I mean, he absolutely blitzed the car yoke walk. Absolutely blitzed it, as did he do with the giant medley. So he's definitely top 3 potential. Alexei Novikov, I've got 3rd, Adam Bishop 4th. So this one will be close, actually. This one will be very close between mainly Evan and Mitchell. And then we got for the log press 150 kilograms. So at World's Strongest Man in the qualifiers it was 145. So they've upped it a little bit, which is good because I thought it was a bit light actually. Alexei Novikov, brilliant overhead presser. Got the Flintstone lift world record, 246 kilograms behind the neck, amazing. And then a Rogue Invitational, we saw him blitz the deadlift ladder, the overhead ladder. Guy is a brilliant overhead presser. He's got fantastic technique, so I do see him winning this for sure. And he also is very good when it comes to rep events. Mitchell Hooper, I think with a bit more practice, a bit more experience between now and the Cardiff Giants Live, second, definitely possible. Now Adam Bish at the World's Strongest Man, he got 7 reps with 145, so he definitely could do well with 150. Maybe 5 reps, maybe 6. And Evan Singleton I got 4th. He's also a good overhead presser. But there are some other favourites, Rainu Heinle, Gabriel Pena. These guys can do well on this event as well. So it's going to be quite close, this event. I really hope they do it side by side. You know, that really spurs the athlete on to do more. It puts on a much better show rather than one athlete goes out, does it, next one goes out. I don't like that format for when you're doing for reps with the log or the deadlift. So let's wait and see how they set that up. The hammer hold, here we go. This has got Gabriel Pena written all over it. The guy is brilliant at these events. In his qualifying group, World's Strongest Man with the Wrecking Ball hold, won it. Giants Live World Open, won the hammer hold. This guy is very good at this event. I don't know why, just is. Evan Singleton, I got 2nd. Again, he finished 3rd at the Giants Live World Open on this event. 2nd at the Strongman Classic on a hold event. I believe it's the Hercules hold. He's also very good at events like this. When you've ever done a hammer hold, if you've ever tried this or done it with a kettlebell or a barbell or a dumbbell or a weight plate, it's mind over matter. It's that inner strength that makes you win this event. And Evan Singleton's got that, as has Gabriel Pena, which is why I think they're both very good at events like this. Alexei Novikov 3rd, Mitchell Hooper 4th. That's my predictions, obviously. It's a prediction. I have no inside knowledge about whether that's going to be the case. Top 4 for the Castle Stones, I put Adam Bishop. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to say Adam Bishop. Sometimes he does really well on these events, and then he does really bad. He's not very consistent, but if he brings his A game on the Castle Stones, he could win it. Mitchell Hooper, I think with more experience, more practice, training more events, training the stones, he could potentially take 2nd. Alexei Novikov, another one. Sometimes he shows up, he wins these stones. He won it at Europe's. But then, like this year, at World's Strongest Man, does terrible. He's not very consistent with the stones. Maybe that's something he's going to work on now, right now. He's before the Giants Live Cardiff. I hope it's something that he's working on right now so that he comes along to this event and potentially could win it. And then I put Rainu Heinle as 4th. So, but it's open. Both Stoltman brothers aren't there, so it's wide open for these guys to come along and win the event. There's not too many good Atlas stone lifters this year at the Giants Live Cardiff. Lots of good deadlifters, but not stone lifters. So anyway, let me know what your predictions are. I want you to tell me, who do you think's going to win? Who do you think's going to take the deadlift world record? Do you like the events? Do you like the athlete lineup? Let me know what your thoughts are below in the comments. I want to thank you for watching this video. I want you to click that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things strongman. And I want to thank you again. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day, guys.